how are you guys doing today? My name is Jacob Spain, and this is going to be an example of a persuasive speech for Mr. Ken Newton's public speaking for West Georgia Technical College. And today, my topic is going to be why fast food chains should be incorporating more vegan vegetarian options. And I'm going to give you three primary reasons why I think major fast food chains should be incorporating vegan and vegetarian options today. The first reason is going to be to meet the demands of the current population. So as of right now, vegan vegetarianism in the vegan vegetarian population has increased by 500%. There is 5 times more vegan vegetarians now than there ever was before in pre-recorded history, from what we know of. 500%. So if you took your grandmother's generation, your mother's generation, there's 5 times more vegan vegetarians walking around today. And it is a fad. It is a fad. It is exponentially growing. You have way more. It's way cooler to be not slaughtering animals. It's cool to not buy into the mass slaughter of animals. People see it as cool. It's a fad now. And people like it. And it's exponentially growing. And our numbers here, according to trulyexperiences.org, the numbers have grown by 500%, and I think the fast food chains would be wise to meet this demand, this increase in population within a certain field of consumer. I think they would be wise to capitalize upon that. And other data that shows the increase in population for vegan vegetarianisms is their primary meeting places, such as Veganuary. Veganuary is a primary congregation of vegan vegetarians that happens once a year in January, and it's Veganuary. It's every January people come together, share recipes, and talk about a vegan vegetarian plant-based lifestyle. And these congregations have increased by 25%. Participation in these vegan vegetarian these meetings have increased by 25%. So not only is it recorded that vegan vegetarian population as a whole has increased by 500%, but the congregations that are specifically for this consumer group have increased by around 25%. And not only that, the total vegan vegetarian population is 6%. 6% of Americans are supposedly vegan vegetarians. So that is pretty large, and I think that the fast food chains would be wise to meet their consumer base. If the 6% of Americans are vegan vegetarian, then perhaps 6% of a fast food menu should be vegan vegetarian based. They would only increase their consumers by adding vegan vegetarian options, because if you have no vegan vegetarian options in a fast food menu, you are completely eliminating 6% of the American population, which is pretty large. So I think as long as it is cost efficient and it is time efficient and it is logical to do so, I think that these fast food chains would be wise to incorporate vegan vegetarian options within their menu to only increase their customer pool, which would ultimately increase their net profit, if I'm not mistaken. As long as it is cost efficient to do so, adding vegan vegetarian options would only increase the amount of customers that go to their particular fast food restaurant. So I think it would be wise and even profitable to do so. So moving on to my second point, so my first point was meeting the rising demands in vegan vegetarian options today. Now my second point will be the health benefits. So there are clear health benefits within a vegan vegetarian diet, and the primary, most notable health benefit would be to lower your LDL-C. So LDL-C is fatty content within the bloodstream and is the causer of heart disease. So heart disease, if you may know, is the number one killer. It's not cancer, it's not stroke, it's not diabetes. Heart disease is the number one killer of people today, and it is the number one reason why somebody's going to flop over and die. It is a very, very dangerous and serious disease, and it is primarily attributed to a very high red meat diet. So if you want to reduce your amount of heart disease, which is statistically the number one reason why someone will die, then a plant-based vegan diet is just for you. Now, other than that, a plant-based and vegan diet can also eliminate your risk of stroke and lower your risk of diabetes type 2, according to the ncbl.nlm.nih.gov. So there is clear health benefits to a vegan vegetarian diet, and it reduces some of the primary, most fatal diseases and unfortunate happenings today. So my second point will be the health benefits. Also, individuals who practice a vegan vegetarian diet supposedly live to be about 10 years longer, according to the same site. People who have taken a survey that are vegan vegetarians, they have about a 10-year longer life expectancy on average. That could be lifestyle choice, but it's something to take note of. Now, my third and final reason is it is more why we should incorporate more fast food and vegan vegetarian options in fast food is that the mass slaughter of animals is morally questionable. So if you research the environment that these slaughterhouses that are within these slaughterhouses, these animals are not having a good time. They are bred to slaughter. It is morally questionable and it is unnecessary. We don't need beef. We may like the way that these animals taste, but we do not need to mass breed them and then slaughter them. It is morally questionable, and it is becoming borderline. It has become borderline illogical because it is so hard to meet the demand. We have 6+ billion people living today, and all of them need to consume an animal. We cannot breed these animals fast enough. That's why we have started to genetically modify these organisms to make them bigger than what they can ever be, so we can feed more people. So we're pumping them full of genetically modified substances, steroids even, to get them bigger, and then their bones can't even support their body masses. They're so big, and then their ankles are breaking, and then we're putting them down. And also, genetically modifying organisms with more research, can easily affect the hormonal balances within people today. The beef, chicken, and steak, and all these types of meat items that you're eating today are not the same that your grandfather and your great-grandfather were eating. So the mass slaughter and breeding of animals is morally questionable, and also it is becoming unsustainable. That was the word I was looking for. It is almost unsustainable. We have too many people today, and mass producing and then slaughtering animals to feed all of them is becoming unsustainable because it takes about 5 pounds of grain to produce 1 pound of beef. It is illogical and cost inefficient to take 5 pounds of farmer grown grain that can be used to make bread, cakes, pancakes, waffles, toast, whatever you want to feed people with, and then at a 80% efficiency reduction, that 5 pounds of grain only produces 1 pound of beef. So 5 pounds of grain can easily feed a family for a week, but 1 pound of beef could make about 4 burgers. It could probably feed about 2 people for a day. So it is also cost and resource inefficient, as well as morally questionable. And all this information can be found at the www.fda.gov. And there you go, guys. This is my persuasive speech on the topic of why we should incorporate more vegan vegetarian options in fast food today for Mr. Ken Newton's public speaking course. And just to reiterate those 3 points, it is to meet the rising demands, there are clear health benefits, and it is also morally questionable and cost inefficient to be producing meat at the rate that we are today. So my name is Jacob Spain. This is my persuasive speech, guys, and I hope you guys have a great day.